bunch of veterans.
But now, Azale, do you think that 100 Thieves needs game-breaking plays like that, like they would maybe need against Cloud9 to take down FlyQuest, or is this an easier task?
It's for sure an easier task. Cloud9 is clearly the best team in the league. I don't think that there's really any debate about that whatsoever, especially after TSM just lost like how they just did. Not even the TSM fans, I think, would be arguing that TSM is the best team. So, yeah, it is an easier prospect to take down FlyQuest. I don't think you need to have such a monumental performance. But that being said, FlyQuest is a really strong team. They looked even stronger with Solo coming in yesterday. And if they are maintaining that level, having more proactivity, another lane you can play around, and still having the late game insurance of PoE and WildTurtle, they're going to be a damn hard team to beat.
Yeah, while Ryoma may be improving incrementally throughout the split, he has a tough matchup today against PowerOfEvil, one of the top performers for FlyQuest in their 6 run so far over the split, looking to make it 10 and take control of second place here in our fourth game of the day. Back over to Captain Flowers and Jack for the call.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Here we go. Game number 4. 100 Thieves going up against FlyQuest. The Thieves still trying to get themselves in a spot where they're comfortably into the playoffs. FlyQuest feeling pretty good at the top of the table, but want to finish the season out strong. The split, I should say, not the whole season. As Syndra, Gangplank, Pantheon, Set, and Senna will be banned, with one more ban left to go here for FlyQuest.
And I think a pretty realistic shot at top 2 for FlyQuest, and they can make a really large impact on 100 Thieves season if they beat them here. This is the clump that 100 Thieves is in, that Immortals is in, that Team Liquid is in, where every win matters just a little bit extra, because not only are we talking about playoffs, we're still talking about the potential to reach top 4. So you got to give your very best. It's been this project for 100 Thieves to bring Ryoma along and give him some time to scale up, but in terms of isolating for just this spring split, you have to be playing your very best stuff right now and not really worrying, at least in these next 3 games, about long-term improvement.
Well, we've got the 80 carries pick from both sides. It's Felios' first pick of the whole draft here for 100 Thieves. FlyQuest responding with a misfortune. And since FlyQuest have locked in the Ornn, one thing I want to track throughout this draft is what you brought up last game. The Ornn seems so strong because the damage dealers against it were ineffective in terms of having like a Diana, right? So let's see what 100 Thieves can do. And immediately, as Trundle's locked in, that's a great answer for sapping his stats and making him vulnerable in a fight.
Yep, this Ornn is going to look a lot more mortal, I think, because Aphelios is one of the most insane 5 to 6 item carries I've ever seen when he has the right gun combination, and especially when you add the Trundle on top of that to shred his resistances, it does make it so you can remove a tank from the other team. So I really like the early Trundle there from Meteos.
And the pick from FlyQuest for the jungle that they're responding with will be a Rek'Sai. So we've got mirrored picks from each side. 80 carry, top laner, well, assumed top laner for both sides. Remember, both these champions can be flexed to mid lane as well. And then junglers for each. So we're going to still need to see supports. We're still going to need to see those mid laners. And mid lane is where the bans are coming in now. FlyQuest banning the LeBlanc away from Ryoma, as 100 Thieves will deny the Victor from PowerOfEvil.
Yeah. LeBlanc's so often banned right there, right? Not necessarily in the first phase where the really big power picks come out, but in this slot, just because it's such a good 4th pick on red side. So, or rather, it's a good 4/5. Like it can basically fit wherever you want it, and there's not a strong counter to it. So, right now, as you mentioned, just trying to find that right support matchup, and that's tricky to do against IgNar, whose support pool is incredibly deep.
Yeah, let's see what the Thieves want to pinch from it, or if they just want to focus on mid here a little bit more. And mid is the name of the game. The Corki ban coming through, and a pretty quick lock in there on the Braum from FlyQuest. You can see the Bard was flashed there for just a second, but with a vulnerable carry like Misfortune, not only do they want to be able to protect her, but keeping Braum away from your opponents when you already have Misfortune locked in. Braum is exceptional at denying her bullet time from doing work in a team fight, and they want to make sure that the 100 Thieves squad can't do that.
Agreed. I think it's a denial pick. It's also really interesting how we think of Braum as a fairly common support. IgNar's first Braum game. He's actually, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is his 10th unique support in 16 games. Pretty impressive.
Well, the lock-in for mid lane for Ryoma here is Orianna. And the final pick of the draft for 100 Thieves to go with that Aphelios is Nautilus. Now, you talk about gun combinations. Right. If Aphelios has the all-in gun combinations and he's got a Nautilus next to him, this 2v2 is incredibly scary.
Absolutely. And are we going to see another Diana? Right into Ori. Just slot it right in here for pick 5. No, I don't think PoE is going to be going with that. There's also his normal control mage late game carry stuff has been mostly banned out. And when he's out of picks, he's done this once before the split, he has this fascination with picking Ahri. He hasn't shown a high effectiveness with it, in my opinion, but it is what they've actually pushed him to because they banned out so many mid lane champions.
I'm ready to see the Ahri. This is a champion we really don't get to see a lot of in professional play. He'll have the opportunity to maneuver around a lot of immobile champions. Trundle, Orianna, Aphelios, all with no gap closers or dashes. Aatrox, of course, does have his Umbral dash to move him short distances. Nautilus can move around with his hook. The PowerOfEvil and his positioning on this Ahri, utilizing that ulti, could make some big moves here in a team fight.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that Rumble completely fell through that pick ban phase. But overall, I am excited to see this draft. I think both teams put together a lot of tools that can make for an interesting game.
And you already talked about the importance of not just playoffs, but top 4, because in all our previous years, it was always top 2, right? Like that's what got you the bye. You were in playoffs or you were top 2. That was the distinction. And now it's the bottom 2 that are sort of left out because it's a sort of pseudo double elimination where you miss out on that if you're in the bottom 2. You're only single elim now. So the difference between 4th and 5th is actually pretty massive.
It's probably the biggest difference in placement in the top 6, for sure.
So that's one thing that I want to see both squads keeping in mind. I want to see everybody working towards playing towards these playoffs, is not just getting in there. And this is always the conversation that I find interesting when we're talking about teams qualifying for anything or doing well, whether it's making it into playoffs at the end of a domestic split or getting into whichever group in Worlds. People always talk about like, oh, I want to get a good spot in playoffs so I can play a weaker team, or oh, I want to get into the right group in Worlds so I only have to play the bad teams. Well, that's only good if you're, not planning on going any further than just passing that step. But right now, we do have a break. Champion Select is over, and that means a 5-minute delay is on the way. Competitive integrity has to be ensured. We'll see you right back here after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's just about time to hop onto Summoner's Rift here for the 4th time today. Once again, we do have these 5-minute breaks to preserve competitive integrity, make sure that the game is delayed enough so that no sort of shenanigans can happen behind the scenes. But now we're going to be casting everything in front of your very eyes here. We got 100 Thieves lined up fighting out of the blue corner and FlyQuest fighting from the red.
And the big thing that looks a little bit different in this one is the Ahri.
Yeah.
Everything else is a pick we see a lot of. The Ahri is a pick that basically only PoE chooses. And if we think about the bans that happened 5 or 6 minutes ago, the Corki was gone, the Cinder was gone, the Victor was gone. A lot of those late game scaling picks that PowerOfEvil can control the game with. I mean, he did yesterday on the Victor, even though he didn't pick up very many kills, are gone. Whoa. But nice little invade to get the flash out early, and we'll see if they can play a bit around bot side now that they have that Nautilus flash gone.
Braum is so scary on invades because of his ability to do what he just did. Tag you with the winner's bite, immediately threaten the follow-up autos for the stun into the kill, and get the easy flash early on. Also want to point out, PowerOfEvil does have Glacial Augment on this Ahri. Ooh. The standard Ahri build these days is to take that, grab yourself a Hextech GLP, get some spooky ghosts, and then just have an incredible amount of slowing through your active items to make it easy to hit your charms and your other skill shots.
Yeah, that's definitely the build he's going to be going up for. I thought for a second that they might try an extended chase onto Meteos, but Meteos was able to kind of wiggle his way out of the jungle there, and everyone else had to go back to get experience. But yeah, as you mentioned, the Braum's so incredibly potent in those early levels. Knowing he's on the bottom side, though, Meteos and Ssumday are actually looking for an early invade. Trundle is stronger than Rek'Sai level 1. Same with Aatrox versus Ornn.
Yeah, Trundle's incredibly strong at level 1. Being able to take the enemy's damage and then gain it as a buff for yourself. The red will hit him a few times and make the trade come out more even than it otherwise would have. As Meteos and Ssumday both continue walking around. They're not willing to stop here just yet, but it's a different kind of 1v1 that's going down up here. IgNar walking away. doesn't need to expend either summoner spell because he knows his opponent doesn't have a flash to use. Meteos and Ssumday are still invested in this red buff. They are not willing
Whoever
to
gets
stop.
it wins.
A smite fight is going to change the way this plays out as Meteos grabs that red for himself. It's first blood over to FlyQuest, who will grab the kill onto Ssumday. Meteos still trying to make his escape as PowerOfEvil comes around. Will Solo make his way forward to help this too? PowerOfEvil not going to find the charm onto Ryoma, but he will manage to get the orb. Meteos still hanging out here in this brush. He does not lose 1v1 against this Ornn, and now with the flash into the chomp, into the auto attacks, Solo's forced to flash over the wall defensively. Meteos will retain control over the area and look to steal away even more. Jat, what the hell is going on level 1?
I wish I had an answer for you, man. This was just, you get started with a jungle invade, and then you're just daring the other team to back down first. And that's how you end up in situations like this. Because, like, ultimately what happened, sure, Meteos won the smite fight, but it looked like PoE's Ahri got push, if you look at the minimap, and was the first to be able to get here. So even though Meteos won the smite fight, it meant that the escape was too difficult. I'm a little surprised that Ssumday didn't flash over the wall. It would have at least forced like multiple follow flashes to stop him, but probably because they were invaded in the other team's jungle, it was okay. And what's really interesting about this is Solo stuck around to continue harass on Meteos when Ssumday teleported back. So even though Ssumday died, he's got a full level on the Ornn now.
A full level and
wow.
11 CS to 0. Solo knows he can't walk up against that Aatrox when Ssumday has all 3 abilities and Solo's only level 2. He'll just get Infernal Chain and combo to death. So he's got to hang completely back until this wave collides with the turret. But the problem is, oh, by the way, there's those Infernal Chains I was talking about. Nice use of the Bellows Breath to go unstoppable there and make sure that he doesn't get yoinked back.
Solo's going to get denied.
Yeah.
I think here.
All these minions, this wave is pushing towards Ssumday. And as long as he's able to control this, how does Solo get any farm?
Yeah, he's got to greed. He's got to basically just walk up, get enough damage down on these minions that the rest of his minions will finish. And Santorin has defensively pathed up here to make it safe for Solo to push in.
Ssumday still has flash if Santorin goes for a gank here. Ssumday throwing down the chains.
Should be here, though.
There's the CC. There's the follow-up from Santorin. Ssumday, even with the flash, he decides not to use it because he's dead anyway. Santorin and Solo working well together. That's what a top laner dreams of. A jungler that's going to get him out of hot water.
Oh, my goodness. And that could potentially be a tilter for Ssumday. You think all the way back to level 1, helping on the invade, gets him killed. He teleports back, gets control of the wave, freezes it. And then if Meteos is there to cover, they win that 2v2 every time.
Yeah.
But because it was a 2-on-1 gank, he ends up falling and losing his
Oh,
place.
whoa! Flashing into the charm, coming out from PoE, but he's CC'd underneath the turret, and he will almost fall. Cody's son with a flash to grab the play. Ryoma makes a TP down, and 100 Thieves bite back.
Okay. That was...
You okay there, buddy?
I don't know what PowerOfEvil was thinking there. He was thinking he was going to land the charm.
Yeah.
I think that's as far as he thought.
He was thinking his opponent had no flash.
Yeah, and he was completely under the turret and just got completely destroyed. That swings the game back over in 100 Thieves' favor, because now the 0-2-0 Ssumday actually doesn't matter in this case because he's up against a 7 CS at 6-minute Ornn. We're going to watch this play one more time, and he missed the Q, which is a big thing, but even if he lands the Q, it's not enough damage to kill. He just huge overestimation of his damage right there, and then a timely teleport matched by Ryoma to make it an additional kill.
And we're not stopping anytime soon, my friend. Santorin with the flash into the knockup. Meteos is the target. 100 Thieves looking to pull themselves back here as PowerOfEvil rotates over to the fight. Charm not going to find anything. Meteos still hanging around. Smite is ready. Smiting this Scuttle Crab will give him a massive infusion of HP. Doesn't even need to do it. It is surrendered by FlyQuest.
Yeah, 100 Thieves looks like they're in a really, really good spot. We know how well they can deal with enemy tanks in late game team fights. Ryoma's Ori is off to a good start. And Meteos' Trundle, even after all those level 1 invade shenanigans and Santorin picking up 2 kills, is completely fine in this game. So in terms of like first 7 minutes of the game, if I tell you, all right, at 7 minutes, you're 100 Thieves, Ssumday's going to be 0-2-0.
That feels
You
bad.
don't think you're winning the game.
Yeah, that feels bad.
Yeah, but actually they're up 1,000 gold and a Drake. So things are going unexpectedly well for 100 Thieves so far.
Comes Santorin, flash away from Ryoma. Very nice use of the ult. He might be able to grab a return kill. Not quite, but that was real close to being slick as Meteos moves forward. PowerOfEvil, no flash ready, but he's still able to maintain enough distance to get away. IgNar eats quite a lot of damage from that combo from Cody, Sun, and Stunt. Auto attacks continuing to come through onto the turret now with all those little tiny spinning shurikens around Cody's Sun. Allows him to put down so much damage.
Yeah, get the plate early, so that bottom lane is definitely pressuring fairly well. Stunt probably going to have to reset after that one, but it means things are in control. Talking about that mid lane gank one more time, it kind of needed to work, actually. The fact that Santorin ended up getting pulled into turret, but I believe got a Triumph heal after the kill came through is what ended up saving him, so it keeps this game competitive.
Still a nice CS lead in the top lane for Ssumday's Aatrox over Solo's Ornn. Santorin level 5 here on this Rek'Sai 2-0-1. I talked in a previous game today about how when you draft Rek'Sai, I want to see players be very active, very early, very often. And so far, Santorin is doing just that, enabling his team to set these plays up and being a part of everything. Meteos and 100 Thieves, they're working together. They got a 3-man squad here to take down the Rift Herald. It'll be a nice early take on that one. They'll have the entire duration of it to still use it to try to get some plates. We'll see where Meteos wants to take that next as a TP comes in from PowerOfEvil to get himself back in a mid lane.
I actually think this is a situation where it might be good to use it bot. Bot already took one plate. I don't think they want to open up Ssumday's lane yet. Oftentimes when you open up the Aatrox lane, I've talked about this before in 100 Thieves games actually, where Ssumday was really far ahead and they opened up the top lane.
Yeah.
It's possible that his lead stops there, but in situations where he doesn't even necessarily have a lead, opening up top can actually be even more detrimental to the Aatrox. So we'll see what 100 Thieves does. Most times Rift is used top, but I think bot lane would be the proper use of it this game.
FlyQuest are heading people down towards the bottom half of the river right now. A flash away from Stun is going to be followed up by a connecting charm from PowerOfEvil. However, he still has the ultimate ready to go here. Meteos swoops in just to make sure they won't chase this one any further. Meanwhile, Turtle is grabbing some plate money here in bottom lane. Picks that up for himself before Cody's able to get back and stop it. But here comes the Goon Squad.
Thinking about it.
IgNar and Santorin maybe looking to make a dive here as Cody's Sun does slightly win out on the trade here versus WildTurtle. But 100 Thieves are bringing in the cavalry. They found the route onto IgNar, looking for maybe a little bit more follow-up, but there's so many members of both sides here, man. I just don't think they're willing to make that risk.
Yeah, everyone was in on that play. They kind of knew what was coming. Cody, Sun, and WildTurtle fairly aggressively trading because they both knew that their team was coming and they both thought their team was going to arrive first. And yeah, neither team really willing to overextend there, and they end up just backing away.
You can see the teleport back available for both top laners here too. Summoner Spellbook had something else there for Ornn, but has now switched back to the teleport. And you'll see Cody Sun backing up completely out of mana. Is not a state where Aphelios wants to be as Santorin moves towards bottom lane here once again. With IgNar coming around from the side, they may be able to make something happen here. Hook gets him away, but they're still looking to find the CC. The stopwatch will prevent Stunt from being in any more danger.
Super timely usage of stopwatch there by Stun. Completely stopping an otherwise for sure kill with a level 6 Rek'Sai, but timing actually, like, that's one of the cleanest stopwatches I've seen. I know it wasn't a super mechanical outplay, but just if you think about the amount of damage that it prevents,
yeah,
it's like he either walks away with full health or he's dead. And that's the difference of using that stopwatch there.
And you could say, well, yeah, but why couldn't he just ult, or why couldn't he just CC the Rek'Sai? But the thing is, the Rek'Sai was further forward than the Braum, meaning she would take the turret aggro first. All she has to do is ult to immediately drop it, and the aggro is so easy to juggle in that situation. I really don't think there was any other way out. Nice smite from Santorin there to get that blue away from Meteos and stop the steal.
Here's the bot lane Rift Herald, I think. Going to be able to break that turret as the setup before the Drake, and they give all the gold on to Cody Sun. Having Aphelios as a late game win con when you have a Trundle on the team as well to shred the enemy tanks is really important. But even though that goes down, Meteos is kind of caught out.
Meteos looking for some damage onto Turtle. He has used the Subjugate, but now he's in the middle of 3 different members of FlyQuest. Ornhorn goes out over the wall, finds a knock up onto 2. PowerOfEvil coming around from the side. IgNar in some trouble, going to be chased down now. Cody Sun's got the range, got the damage, got the chakras, got the kill. and that's another one in the pocket of 100 Thieves. Bullet time is raining so much hell down onto these guys. Stunt and Ryoma will try to get away. Ssumday's looking to save anybody, but it does not look like it's going to come through. He may get a revenge kill at least. Double kill to PoE, double kill to Ssumday. Over the wall he goes, looking for the Infernal Chains, looking for the kill, won't be able to find it. It is a bloodbath.
Time to throw down once again. So many moments in that fight, Captain Flowers, where it was one hit away from turning in the opposite favor. So Meteos actually buys so much time towards the top of this. We're all just kind of waiting for that Rift Herald to charge so Cody Sun can join the fight. Cody Sun gets solo gold, and then Meteos is like, you know what? I'm just going to battle with WildTurtle and wait for my teleport to come in. When it finally does, WildTurtle has no health, no flash, no heal, and it gives Ssumday some free time to fight. But then look at the bottom where PowerOfEvil is able to come in, and he actually plays this fight really well, basically solo killing Ryoma for most of this. As he missed, maybe it was a little bit better in my memory. Lands the second charm at the end because I saw he missed one of those Qs, and then Ssumday just kind of flailing around in the middle of this fight. I thought he was going to be able to pick up a triple here, but Solo had enough cooldowns to escape.
It was so close. Solo was just fast enough to get away from that chain. That was a fraction of a second away from snapping him right back into Ssumday's waiting jaws.
Man, 100 Thieves looking good. I mean, can you imagine a world here where FlyQuest would lose and we have a tie for second at 9-7, which would happen if they continue doing this as Meteos?
The fighting never stops this game, and I am about it. Meteos and Stunt now going to be the ones under fire. FlyQuest coming in 5 men strong. Meteos down to 100 HP, but Stunt's the one to die first. Ryoma finds a real big shockwave, but it's way too late.
Yeah, no Ludens on Ryoma yet, so no damage to go down there. I didn't catch who won that Smite fight beforehand, but it was definitely Meteos going for the red buff steal. And FlyQuest, they completely stay in this game. 4 kills onto PoE's Ahri. So we talked about how he calls back on this pick. The question will be, can he carry with it?
Ooh, setting up nicely there. Notice how he used the actives, he got the slows, and then when Ryoma was stuck on the glacial augment zones, he went for the charm to force the flash away from his opponent. Well done by PowerOfEvil. Exactly how you use this build.
Yeah, it's a slower build. Like, it's not necessarily the quick burst assassin that you see out of all these other people, but like the GLP Twin Shadows Ahri is weirdly just this combination of utility and mobility, which is why it never, to me, feels like it's hard carrying a game, which is why I'm really intrigued to see PoE play it and have 4 kills early, because maybe this would be our chance to watch a Glacial Augment Ahri really take over a pro game, because I, off the top of my head, can't remember it happening.
Rift Herald started up here. Second Rift Herald of the game. 100 Thieves seeing if they can secure this one like they did the last one. IgNar finding Ssumday here in the brush. Gets hit by the Infernal Chains. Not too worried about it. Shelly at half HP. FlyQuest. They got all 5 bodies here, and they are ready to fight. GLP not going to find anything there for PowerOfEvil. The ball in the middle of the river, daring FlyQuest to walk over it. Now Santorin's going to be caught out, has to try to get himself away. Going to be taken very low. One more club upside the head, and Meteos has his number. There comes the pillar, and here comes 100 Thieves. A nice shockwave this time. It is perfectly on time, and that's shutdown money for Ssumday. A 3-for-0 plus. They grabbed themselves the Rift Herald control. They grabbed themselves everything in that fight, and now they're marching it down mid.
They completely steamrolled them in that fight. The shockwave came all the way back up for Ryoma. Still doesn't have the Ludens. Doesn't matter because the team fight was just such a wash. They basically were able to move right through the bullet time from WildTurtle to continue that chase. And, I mean, that wasn't even close. FlyQuest without an Ahri ultimate or with a good way of locking people in the MF ult just can't be there from the looks of it. So Ssumday has the flank here. Meteos is able to finish it. Because they started on Santorin and basically bursted him out, everyone on FlyQuest is in disarray, and when they don't, basically WildTurtle couldn't stand and fire bullet time because Ssumday had the initial flank position, so it meant that their combo of Ornn ult and MF ult couldn't work, and that's when things really fell apart. And it's strangely satisfying to me. I feel like you know what I'm talking about, the Aatrox sound every time he gets a kill or assist.
Yeah.
Just watching him bounce around fights. Oof.
Well, Ssumday's getting his revenge for the 2 deaths early on here in this game. Popping off now. Black Cleaver in inventory. Has Caulfield's Warhammer as well. Make sure he's got that 30% CDR so he can slam his way around these fights with plenty of cooldown reduction to make sure the skills get spammed daily, nightly, and ever so rightly. Next Drake is spawning here in under a minute. 100 Thieves have both of them so far. Next one brings them to Soul Point and adds yet another thing for FlyQuest to be worried about. We'll see if the bloodbath keeps going on. I feel like practically every time we've come out of a replay, the teams are ready to fight here again so far in this match.
They are really willing to throw down, and I think a lot of it is Meteos' pillars have been super on point and cutting off the low mobility people on FlyQuest that aren't named Ari, right? Like he's just popping it down, and then WildTurtle and IgNar are kind of trapped out. But the thing here is they know they have an Ocean Soul win condition and a larger lead, so as long as they just set up around Ocean, take it, it means the Soul would be up around 23 minutes, and that's what they're doing. They're just walking through the jungle with control wards and being like, all right, if FlyQuest isn't going to be here, we're just going to take the Drake.
Yeah, no reason not to. If they're going to completely ignore the objective, take it. You can see the long-range trinket being used. For some reason, just the name completely escapes me. But
Farsight?
Farsight Totem, that's what it is. Yep, Farsight Totem placed down. It's going to see what they're taking, but that's all they're going to get, and that means 100 Thieves are up to Soul Point. One more Drake, and they will get that Ocean Soul, which, as I pointed out earlier on in the day, I believe there has been criminally too little of. But this time around, we've got our Therapy Dragon, and more importantly, that is the strongest of all the souls.
I think it's timely. You know, the 4th of the 5 games you and I cast together today, just
a little bit of a
take
breathe.
a big breath in. Know that there's honey fruit around the corner. If you get harassed out, you can just pick it up, refill your health and mana, and go on about your day. That's the Ocean Soul.
Feels good, man. Nice peaceful rift here as FlyQuest are trying to find their own inner peace and find a way to stabilize this game here. 3,000 gold down, 19 minutes into the game. Meteos, Stunt, and Cody Sun stepping up into enemy territory to lay down some vision, but they're able to disengage very nicely when FlyQuest comes to collapse. Ssumday going back into the bottom lane now to deal with solo in that 1v1. Not too scared of this Ornn. Black Cleaver will do a good job cutting through some of that resistance that the Ornn is building. As Stunt goes after Power of Evil, the ult has been used. PoE dashing away. Meteos not going to be able to stop him there with the pillar. Subjugate popped onto IgNar to make him a little bit squishier and smaller as the shockwave comes out and forces the flash away from the FlyQuest support. Now Turtle and Power of Evil looking to find even more. There's your charm onto Cody Sun, who has to get himself out. Both summoners used, and FlyQuest will repel the 100 Thieves invaders.
I think that was a kill on Cody Sun if WildTurtle channeled bolt time. Right as PoE went for the re-engage, I think the charm duration would have been long enough for a kill, but a bit of a missed opportunity by FlyQuest to get back in the game right there. 100 Thieves definitely overstaying a little bit, and yeah, the way FlyQuest can get back into this game is if they find a pick, so that's what they're using the Twin Shadows, the GLP for. Oh, that pillar just completely stuffs you.
Just shuts everything down. There is no chance to walk through that, as Santorin will, I guess, grab wolves as a consolation prize. Only the big wolf. The little baby wolves are left for Meteos to take as FlyQuest moves back into the river. 20 minutes now means Baron has spawned. Of course, neither one of these teams really in a position to go after that, as Stunt and Meteos work together to force the flash out of Santorin.
Big flash burned, especially with the next Drake coming up in 2 minutes and 40 seconds and Ocean Soul on the way. I definitely feel like 100 Thieves is just kind of buying time for that moment, and it's on FlyQuest to try and find the appropriate picks to come back. And the last 2 weeks of the split Captain Flowers are going to be so interesting if FlyQuest loses this game, because the compression between 2nd and 8th is going to be so tight. Like, second place is really going to be 9 and 7. 9 and 7 is going to be second place, tie between FlyQuest and TSM. We don't know if EG is going to win the final game of the day. They could also be in a 3-way tie for second. It's going to be wild. I can't wait to see the Foldy sheet and play with it when it gets made.
Man, Foldy sheets are so hard. I know that you're just supposed to fold them, but I feel like I fold them in the wrong spot, because there's a lot of different... All I can say is Foldy sheets make me happy that we have some very smart people who know their way around the numbers. As Power of Evil is trying to find his way around the ruins of an outer turret, as 100 Thieves are once again stepping forward. Meteos here on the front line, soaking up the damage, as the unstoppable Santorin uses the ulti to grab himself a kill before going down. It's a 1-for-1, but quickly about to turn the other way, as FlyQuest managed to grab themselves an extra kill onto Stunt at the end of the fight.
Hey, that's the type of stuff that FlyQuest wants to do before Ocean Soul spawns. I mean, Ssumday wasn't necessarily there. His teleport in was a little bit late. He's the strongest person on the team, so if they can fight around him, they're generally in an okay spot. And like, it all started because 100 Thieves thought they had this free turret, and it was PoE dodging most of the spells, landing a nice range Q on Ryoma to get him low, and then sure, the Shockwave does eventually take Santorin low enough that he gets killed, but that buys time for all of FlyQuest to assist in this one, and a 2-for-1 when they're down 3,000 gold and 3 Drakes is great.
FlyQuest not willing to let that second place go. If they do win this game, they will be in sole possession of second. Granted, they're still only 1 game away from the next closest teams. Everything has just been so incredibly close throughout Spring Split 2020 here. As Stunt walks into the bush, WildTurtle and FlyQuest are immediately waiting there, but a very nice shockwave coming out from Ryoma will make sure that it goes the way of 100 Thieves. Solo comes in from the side. Meteos still tanking up there on the front line. No subjugate available means he is a little bit squishy. He is vulnerable as Solo has to dash away.
Good charm.
Nice charm on a Cody Sun. PowerOfEvil using the Ahri to make the picks. It's a 1-for-1 jungler traded for 80 carry.
Oh my goodness, maybe a game-saving charm there by PoE because now 100 Thieves doesn't feel confident taking this Drake or starting up, and it's buying time for Santorin to respawn. If FlyQuest keep this holding pattern, Santorin will be there first, and they could actually take the Ocean Drake, I would think.
Solo's ulti is about to come up. Turtle and PowerOfEvil will not have their ults available should a fight break out here very soon. IgNars will be available here in a few seconds. On the side of...
Watch for Ssumday.
Yeah.
He's got ultimate and level 14.
We got to keep an eye on that big weapon for 100 Thieves there in the top side. Shockwave again from Ryoma. The cooldown is so low, the damage is so high, and Stunt is so dead. Turtle grabbing the kill on that one. As
Here it comes.
Ssumday's coming in from the side, looking to see what he can set up. Turtle in some trouble. Infernal Chains flashed away from, but this critically means control over the river, control over the Drake, control over the soul for 100 Thieves.
And Ryoma has probably used the most shockwaves in 23 minutes that I can remember seeing. It feels like as we've been fighting on cooldown, he's been able to actually hit people with shockwave on cooldown. So he used it at the start of that fight, they danced around, he used it again to secure the kills onto Solo and Santorin. And even though the gold is only 3,000, that Ocean Soul is a big value.
It does so much. Strongest soul in the game. Having that 24 minutes in, just, it's... You already said it. It's so much value here in the team fights. FlyQuest is going to have that much more health that they have to effectively cut through if they want to win one of these. The good news for them is the gold lead is still staunched. Still only 3,000 separates the teams. Granted, that's still pretty meaningful at 24 minutes in, but it's not any more than it was 5 minutes ago, as 100 Thieves will move up towards the top side, look to make some sort of a move here. Meteos taking a bite out of Solo. It does all of what looks to be 13 damage, and Solo walks away.
And there is a little bit of strangeness in this game in the fact that Ssumday is so strong yet so uninvolved. Like, his CS advantage is massive, but he's only participated in 5 of the 12 kills. So when he does eventually join, potentially at level 16, it's going to feel a lot more one-sided than it currently feels, is kind of my prediction here. And 100 Thieves is just waiting to find the fight to end the game. Notice Ssumday coming up through the minimap. Here we go.
Stunt starting it off. Solo summons the Ornhorn, knocks it through a few members of 100 Thieves, and with Ryoma shut down, this is a FlyQuest fight. They're putting the damage into Stunt, looking to grab the kill onto him. Turtle grabbing the money from that one. Meteos retreats to the top side of the map, and FlyQuest is saying, oh, no. We're not letting you out of here. Santorin leads the charge, and the rest of the team looks to collapse. Baron is up. You kill the enemy jungler. You have 2 dead on the enemy team. You have the chance to go for it. They're sending 1 back, I would assume, because 100 Thieves does have push over the mid lane. They could go for an inhib trade here. Instead, Ssumday's saying, nope. He's got his hero pants on. He's looking to 2v5. Is this a good idea?
It's ambitious,
but we're going to see it anyway.
Aphelios Assault can come out.
Sun looking for the moves here. They've got the Moonlight Vigil. It does almost 0 damage whatsoever. Ryoma's showing up, and Ssumday's got the World Ender looking to end their world right now. Shockwave! Shut down for Ssumday, and FlyQuest retreats with their remaining 3 players. Ssumday with the flash over the wall will be stopped by the charm from PowerOfEvil, but Ryoma is still looking to find even more. Ssumday continues to try to combo his wombo, but he will not be able to. The dash away from PowerOfEvil's ulti means he can escape. It's once again a 100 Thieves priority game, though. They're the ones with 5 men on the map for the next 20 seconds. They're the ones breaking into the enemy base, and they're the ones taking an in-game.
100 Thieves did what they could to prevent that. You might have wanted to see them go a little bit earlier, but it's still a big play for FlyQuest to get that Baron, keep the gold close, and keep the game at least somewhat winnable. The fact that they didn't necessarily get ace there when Ryoma teleported in and Ssumday just pounced on the rest of the team, that was pretty sweet to watch.
And the gold's still 3,000 apart. Somehow, everything just breaks perfectly even.
Yeah.
It's always the same.
What is happening necessarily? Because like you look at Ssumday, he's got a 98 CS lead on solo. The rest of the farm seems relatively even. Like, where's this gold coming from? From FlyQuest, it's not shutdown gold.
It's materializing in their pockets, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, so the kills are even, and the CS is even aside from Ssumday. So I feel like that 3,000 gold lead is basically just Ssumday over solo. So when you see the 4v4s as Ssumday isn't there at the start of the fights, that's an even gold fight for FlyQuest, minus an Ocean Soul, which means they have to actually burst really hard at the start. And 100 Thieves still has a large chance of winning this game, but it's still competitive because 100 Thieves hasn't necessarily been able to get that great fight that we're kind of all waiting for.
We also have to pay respects to Ornn, because there's about 4,500 gold worth of Ornn item value on the side of FlyQuest right now. So that's also got to be considered in these fights. What else has to be considered is 5 versus 1 is not really a situation that you often get out of. PowerOfEvil learns that one in a very in-your-face kind of manner. He's going to be looking at a black and white screen here for the next 40 seconds, and that's another win for 100 Thieves.
Yep, just big whoopsie there from PoE. They're trying to get as many waves pushed out as possible, so those deaths are fairly understandable, since as PoE died, notice how they sent 5 people for him. Mid wave is all the way pushed in. Top wave was beyond 2/3. So, yes, PoE died, but aside from the kill gold, 100 Thieves actually doesn't get anything out of it.
100 Thieves still grabbing those picks, though, and they have 1 minute remaining until the Elder Drake is live. That we talk about soul making a huge difference, my friend. Giant laser beam breathing dragon could be exactly what this team needs to end the game.
Game changer.
Or what FlyQuest needs to turn everything around. We'll see.
Yeah.
That one's got to be fun.
It would have to be like the picture-perfect initiation for them at this point. Looking at Cody Sun's items, if he stays safe in this fight, he'll carry it. He needs to try in this moment to get, or even like holding his guns right now and actually not shooting anything would be ideal for him, because he's got the guns where he can put down the turrets, stack up his chakram, and then get really massive damage. And here we go.
Fight starting off. Meteos is the target. A shockwave finds its way onto 2. Turtle's going to be one of them. Moonlight Vigil finding a little bit of damage there onto Turtle, who's down below 25% HP. 100 Thieves went out in the fight, and Ocean Soul doing exactly what they earned it for, healing them right back up, making sure they're coming out on top in these trades. Santorin's going to be pulled right out of his tunnel, forced to flash over the wall instead. IgNar now on the run, Chains pulling him back, slammed right down into the ground, and Ryoma is the one providing the damage all so often this game, chat, as Solo is caught out, and all 5 members of 100 Thieves will take him out. Turtle's on the run. Ssumday's jumping forward. It's a 5-man push in the mid lane for 100 Thieves, but they back off. They don't want to overextend, and they head towards the Elder.
Yeah, I thought after getting the flash out of Santorin, they might actually just turn back for Elder Dragon, but then it looked like they might try and win the game, and Ssumday, he's just hunting, gets the ult out of PowerOfEvil.
Man, Ssumday is just ready this game. It's exactly what you were talking about. He spent extra time not being a part of the main game, in quotation marks, just playing the side lane PvE minigame to grab extra levels up over his opponent and become this terror of team fights. But now that he's here, man, he's ready.
Oh man, Spirit Visage, Death Dance, Merc Treads with an Ocean Soul on Aatrox. Almost feels like you're cheating, I think. It's right on the border there between what is fair and unfair. GA will be up soon for him right now, and it really does feel like this game is somewhat inevitable or trapped for FlyQuest. The best chance they have is the right charm landing. There's no Merc Treads on Ryoma. The QSS did just get completed by Cody Sun, but if they can remove the squishy carries, then maybe all 5 of them can gang up on Ssumday and have a chance.
Ornn items completed on both carries. Both the items completed on the Ornn himself. Santorin and IgNar still needing to get their upgrades as Solo grabs his next couple of levels. Level 15 compared to the level 17 of Ssumday, who also now has a stopwatch to go with his incredible Death Dance and Spirit Visage healing in these team fights. And man, Ryoma. Ryoma. Shockwave after shockwave after shockwave, grabbing multiple people in these fights, making sure that it's not just a good initiation from 100 Thieves. The follow-through is always where it needs to be. I got to applaud this guy.
Yeah, he's having a big game as 100 Thieves tries to get... None of these games are technically must-win because 100 Thieves is only at 8 losses, and I think there's a decent chance a 10-loss team actually makes playoffs this split. But getting a win here against FlyQuest, who is actually right now the second-place team in the LCS, is just so massive as they try and build up their confidence towards the playoffs. They get the mid-inhibitor, and I think at this point they need to turn to set up towards this Baron unless they feel like they can get an initiation from Stunt, because they're posturing very aggressively. I just wonder if this is worth the time or if they should just be peeling back.
They still have Elder Dragon. I mean, that's such a massive team fight buff. You've always got to feel comfortable trying to force some kind of a fight when you've got that. But yeah, as you say, Baron's up. Why not just go take it?
Yeah, I think they were hoping to just get a pick and win the game, but I think they gotta check all the boxes and get this Baron in their hands.
Here we go. No contest coming out from FlyQuest. Pretty easy to make sure that 100 Thieves can just secure this one for themselves. If FlyQuest was to come out of their base and try to contest this in open territory against a FlyQuest squad that's got the Elder Drake ready to go, I don't think it ends well for them in 99 out of 100 cases.
Yeah, this is the big push. Ssumday's level 18. He's got, at this point, let's see if he takes this cannon minion. Yep, all right. So that is 117 CS ahead of Solo. Pretty absurd. And on top of that, QSS and a ton of crit coming up from Cody Sun. So they're looking to win right now.
Everybody pushing up here. They don't see the need to break up the 5-man push. Oftentimes you see a Baron push involve a 4-1 split or a 3-1-1. Just making it a 5-0-0 this time around. All the muscle here in the top lane. Stunt frontlining onto the turret as Ssumday jumps over the wall, scares them away, and just buying those couple of seconds, making FlyQuest think defensively instead of offensively looking for some kind of a punish, allows 100 Thieves the chance to break that base open in the top lane as well. Of course, there's still a tier 2 turret standing in the bottom lane, so it would take a long amount of time for 100 Thieves to try to go for a third inhib. Instead, they're just going to look for the end of the game right now. Solo uses Call of the Forge God, finds the knockup 1-2. Ryoma going to be one of those. Into the stasis he goes, looking to keep himself alive. The damage comes through onto Santorin. He is killed immediately. Ryoma is kept alive. 100 Thieves are pushing for the win right now. PowerOfEvil, IgNar, and WildTurtle trying to get themselves back to the safety of the fountain steps. The Nexus turrets are falling, and time is running out. It looks like it's all she wrote. Stunt there providing the CC. Ryoma will finally fall, but the trade is everybody on the side of FlyQuest except for IgNar. That is a win for 100 Thieves, bringing them up to 8-8.
GG to 100 Thieves, man. I think they played that game pretty darn well, especially against a FlyQuest team who normally wins in a slow and controlled fashion when they're able to do so. Just having the Trundle Orianna and using that zone control pretty much this whole time, even if there's a little bit of not being on the same page as Ssumday the rest of the game, it's a big, big win for 100 Thieves as they close out their own weekend.